Candles and air fresheners make our homes feel warm and inviting. We light them at dinner, spray them before guests arrive, and trust them completely. But for seniors, these innocent comforts may be silently poisoning your air. Carcinogenic chemicals, respiratory irritants, toxins hidden behind vague labels like fragrance. Today, we're exposing 11 products to avoid and 2 you can trust. Coming in at number 11, Glade plugins. Advertised as long-lasting freshness that transforms any room, Glade plugins promise convenience and comfort. Just plug it in and forget it, the commercials say. Set it and walk away. Your home will smell fresh for up to 60 days. But laboratory testing reveals these plug-in air fresheners release phthalates, endocrine-disrupting chemicals linked to hormone imbalances and respiratory inflammation. For seniors already managing blood pressure medications or thyroid conditions, these invisible toxins interfere with how your body processes prescriptions. Consumer reports document headaches, dizziness, and throat irritation within hours of use. One user complained of waking up with chest tightness every morning until she unplugged the device from her bedroom. The warm vanilla scent you trusted is actually a chemical cocktail your lungs were never meant to inhale. What Glade calls continuous fragrance is continuous exposure to compounds that accumulate in your bloodstream over time. The device heats synthetic oils to 200 degrees, vaporizing chemicals that coat your furniture, curtains, and bedding. You're not just smelling vanilla, you're breathing microscopic particles that lodge in lung tissue. For someone taking beta blockers or ACE inhibitors, phthalate exposure can alter how the liver metabolizes these medications, reducing their effectiveness or increasing side effects. Glade promised convenience, but convenience at what cost? Your endocrine system wasn't designed to filter synthetic fragrances 24 hours a day. Coming in at number 10, Febreze Air Effects. Febreze built its empire on eliminating odors, not masking them. The tagline promises a breath of fresh air. Spray it in your living room, your bathroom, your car. It doesn't cover up smells, it eliminates them at the molecular level, the advertisements claim. But behind the marketing lies a harsh reality. Febreze Air Effects contains BHT, a preservative flagged by the European Union for potential carcinogenic properties. BHT, or butylated hydroxytoluene, is used to prevent the fragrance oils from degrading. Studies show that aerosolized BHT particles linger in indoor air for hours, settling on furniture, bedding, and kitchen surfaces where seniors spend most of their time. For those with asthma, COPD, or weakened immune systems, each spray introduces irritants that inflame airways and trigger coughing fits. The mist you see isn't just water and fragrance, it's a suspension of synthetic chemicals your body struggles to filter. One study from Environmental Science and Technology found that air freshener sprays like Febreze release more than 100 different volatile organic compounds, many of which aren't listed on the label. For seniors taking warfarin or other anticoagulants, chemical irritants in the lungs can trigger inflammation that affects blood clotting. The fine mist feels refreshing when it hits your skin, but those droplets carry compounds that penetrate the blood-brain barrier. Febreze promised to refresh your home, but what it actually does is coat every surface with compounds you'd never knowingly invite inside. The can says fresh linen, but your lungs are processing petrochemicals. Coming in at number 9, Yankee Candle. The most recognized name in scented candles, Yankee Candle markets itself as cozy, nostalgic, and safe. Their jar candles sit on millions of mantles, promising hours of comforting fragrance. Turn down the lights, light a candle, and let the stress of the day melt away. The glass jar glows warmly. The scent fills the room within minutes. But independent lab tests reveal many Yankee Candle products contain paraffin wax derived from petroleum, which releases benzene and toluene when burned, both known carcinogens. Paraffin is the cheapest wax available, a byproduct of crude oil refining. When you light that wick, you're essentially burning fossil fuel in your living room. Seniors with cardiovascular conditions are especially vulnerable because these airborne toxins reduce oxygen efficiency in the blood, making your heart work harder with every breath. Benzene is classified as a Group 1 carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer. Toluene exposure causes dizziness, confusion, and irregular heartbeat. The wick may look cotton, but some contain metal cores that release heavy metals like lead and zinc into the air. That clean cotton or vanilla cupcake scent comes at a cost your lungs and heart cannot afford. The soft glow promises relaxation, but the smoke carries invisible poisons. For a senior recovering from a heart attack or managing congestive heart failure, breathing benzene is like asking your cardiovascular system to work overtime while carrying a weight. The jar says up to 150 hours of burn time. That's 150 hours of toxic exposure. Yankee Candle built a brand on nostalgia and comfort, but there's nothing comforting about carcinogens. At number 8, we have Wick Essential Mist. Branded as a modern, battery-powered diffuser using essential oils, Wick Essential Mist appeals to health-conscious seniors looking for natural alternatives. The packaging shows botanical ingredients and promises wellness. Lavender for relaxation. Eucalyptus for clarity. The device looks sleek, modern, almost medical. It doesn't plug into the wall, it runs on batteries, making it portable and convenient. But consumer safety groups discovered these diffusers emit volatile organic compounds, or VOCs, at levels exceeding EPA indoor air quality guidelines. The word essential in essential oils sounds natural and safe, but Wick's formula blends natural extracts with synthetic carriers and preservatives. For seniors on blood thinners or heart medications, prolonged VOC exposure increases the risk of irregular heartbeat and respiratory distress. The mist feels gentle, almost therapeutic, but each burst introduces formaldehyde and acetaldehyde, chemicals linked to throat irritation, chest tightness, and long-term lung damage. Formaldehyde is the same chemical used to preserve biological specimens in labs. Acetaldehyde is a known irritant that damages mucous membranes. Wick promised nature in a bottle, but what you're inhaling is far from natural. The device releases mist every 15, 30, or 60 minutes, depending on your settings. That means dozens of chemical bursts per day, saturating the air you breathe while you sleep, eat, and relax. For seniors with chronic kidney disease, VOC exposure adds to the toxic burden kidneys must filter. The battery-powered convenience is appealing, but portability doesn't make chemicals safer. Isn't it strange how products labeled fresh and clean are filled with chemicals banned in Europe, but still legal here? Now at number 7, Bath & Body Works 3 Wick Candles. Walk into any Bath & Body Works, and the fragrance hits you instantly. Sweet, inviting, impossible to resist. The store itself is designed to overwhelm your senses. Their 3 Wick candles dominate living rooms and bedrooms across America, marketed as premium home fragrance. The jars are heavy, substantial, the wax is thick and creamy. 3 Wicks promise even burning and maximum scent throw. But beneath the sugary scents lies a troubling truth. These candles are made from paraffin wax blended with synthetic fragrance oils that contain phthalates and parabens. When lit, the triple wicks amplify the release of soot and particulate matter into your home's air. You can see the black residue on the jar's rim after just a few burns. That soot doesn't just settle on glass, it settles in your lungs. For seniors with compromised lung function or those recovering from pneumonia or bronchitis, this soot accumulates in airways and worsens breathing over time. Studies show that burning paraffin candles indoors for just 3 hours raises indoor air pollution to levels comparable to secondhand smoke. 3 hours is less than 1 evening. The flickering warmth of sweater weather or mahogany teakwood comes with a price: your respiratory health. Bath & Body Works built trust on indulgence, but the indulgence is toxic. Phthalates are hormone disruptors. Parabens mimic estrogen. For seniors managing hormone-sensitive conditions or taking medications for thyroid disorders, these chemicals interfere with treatment. The 3 wicks aren't just for ambiance. They're tripling your exposure to airborne toxins. The jar promises 25 to 45 hours of burn time. That's 25 to 45 hours of particulate matter coating your lungs. Coming in at number 6, Lysol Neutra Air Sanitizing Spray. Lysol has been a household name for over a century, synonymous with disinfection and safety. Your grandmother probably used Lysol. Your mother probably used Lysol. The brand means cleanliness, protection, peace of mind. Neutra Air promises to sanitize while eliminating odors, a 2-in-1 solution seniors trust to keep their homes clean. It's not just an air freshener, it's a sanitizer, the label says. It kills bacteria and viruses while making your home smell fresh. But the EPA has flagged concerns about Lysol's aerosol sprays, which contain glycol ethers, solvents linked to kidney damage and central nervous system depression. Glycol ethers are industrial degreasers, the same type of chemical used to clean machinery and strip paint. For seniors already managing kidney disease or taking diuretics, exposure to glycol ethers compounds existing health issues. The spray lingers in the air long after the mist settles, absorbed through skin contact and inhalation. You don't just breathe it, you absorb it through your skin when the mist lands on your hands and face. Consumer complaints describe burning eyes, persistent coughing, and nausea after routine use. One report documented a senior who used Lysol Neutra Air daily in her bathroom and developed chronic bronchitis that resolved only after she stopped using the product. Lysol promised protection, but what it delivers is a chemical burden your organs weren't designed to handle. For someone on dialysis or managing stage 3 kidney disease, adding glycol ether exposure is like asking failing kidneys to work overtime. The can says neutralizes odors at the source. What it actually does is mask odors with chemicals that damage your respiratory and renal systems. Most people never realize how these everyday products interact with their medications, but we'll break it down at the end of the video. Want the real truth about what's poisoning your air? Subscribe now so you never get blindsided by hidden home dangers that could be affecting your health right now. Now let's continue with the 5 worst offenders on our list. These next products are especially dangerous because they're marketed as safe, natural, or budget-friendly options. But as you're about to see, cheap prices and natural claims don't always mean safe. In fact, some of the most affordable air fresheners on the market are also the most toxic. The companies making them know exactly what they're doing. They target price-conscious shoppers, especially seniors on fixed incomes, with products that seem like smart purchases. But the real cost isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in lung function, kidney health, and cardiovascular stability. At number 5, we've got Renuzit Gel Air Freshener. Small, colorful, and cheap, Renuzit Gel Air Fresheners line grocery store shelves, promising weeks of continuous fragrance. The cone-shaped containers come in dozens of scents. You peel back the top, twist the dial to adjust intensity, and place it anywhere. Under the sink, in the closet, on the bathroom counter. Seniors on fixed incomes appreciate the affordability. A 2-pack costs less than $3, but what you're saving in money, you're paying for in health. These gel cones contain high concentrations of synthetic musks, chemicals that mimic estrogen and disrupt hormone balance. Synthetic musks like galaxolide and tonalide were originally developed as cheap replacements for natural musk from animals. Research shows synthetic musks accumulate in body fat over time, increasing cancer risk and interfering with metabolic function. They don't break down. They bioaccumulate, building up in adipose tissue year after year. For seniors managing diabetes or cholesterol, this hormonal interference makes blood sugar regulation more difficult. Synthetic musks trick the body into producing more insulin or less insulin depending on the compound. The gel slowly evaporates, saturating your bedroom or bathroom with particles too small to see but large enough to harm. You can smell the fragrance, but you can't see the microscopic gel particles dispersing into the air. Renuzit marketed convenience, but convenience came with a chemical cost your body cannot afford to pay. A study published in Environmental Health found that people with the highest synthetic musk exposure had measurably disrupted thyroid function. For seniors already taking levothyroxine or other thyroid medications, adding synthetic musk exposure is counterproductive to treatment. Number 4 on our list, Scentsationals Wax Cubes. Sold at Walmart and dollar stores, Scentsationals Wax Cubes attract bargain shoppers with promises of long-lasting scent at rock-bottom prices. A pack of 6 cubes costs $2. You melt the cubes in a warmer, filling your home with fragrance that seems harmless because there's no flame, no smoke. The warmer uses a light bulb or heating element. You drop in a cube, and within minutes the scent fills the room. No soot, no visible emissions. It feels safer than candles. But toxicology reports reveal these wax melts contain high levels of synthetic fragrances that release formaldehyde when heated, a known carcinogen that irritates mucous membranes and damages respiratory tissue. The heat breaks down the fragrance compounds, and formaldehyde is one of the byproducts. Seniors with heart conditions are especially at risk, as formaldehyde exposure increases blood pressure and heart rate variability. Studies show that formaldehyde causes vasoconstriction. Your blood vessels tighten, forcing your heart to pump harder. The wax may smell like ocean breeze or lavender fields, but the fumes contain industrial chemicals used in embalming fluid. Formaldehyde is literally what funeral homes use to preserve bodies. Scentsationals promised affordability and safety, but the real cost is measured in lung capacity and cardiovascular strain. For a senior with atrial fibrillation or a history of arrhythmia, formaldehyde-induced heart rate variability can trigger dangerous episodes. The warmer runs for hours. The cube melts completely. You're breathing formaldehyde the entire time. 1 cube can release fragrance for up to 8 hours. That's 8 hours of formaldehyde exposure for less than 50 cents. The bargain isn't worth it. At number 3, Glade Automatic Spray Refills. Glade leveraged its reputation in trash bags to enter the air freshener market, marketing automatic sprays as hands-free convenience. The brand name suggests reliability. If Glade makes quality trash bags, their air fresheners must be quality too, right? The device releases bursts of fragrance every few minutes, maintaining a consistent scent without effort. You set it on the counter or mount it on the wall. Every 9, 18, or 36 minutes, it sprays automatically. You never have to think about it. But consumer safety advocates discovered Glade's refills contain propellants and solvents that form secondary pollutants when they react with ozone in indoor air. The propellants aren't just pushing the fragrance out. They're reacting with naturally occurring ozone to create entirely new toxic compounds. For seniors with asthma or chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, these secondary pollutants trigger inflammation, wheezing, and shortness of breath. One study found that automatic air fresheners can increase indoor formaldehyde levels by up to 20%. The automatic spray you trusted to keep your home fresh is actually cycling toxic compounds through your living space every 15 minutes, 24 hours a day. That's 96 sprays per day on the highest setting. 96 chemical releases saturating the air you breathe. Glade promised effortless freshness, but effort isn't the issue. The issue is what you're breathing while the machine runs on autopilot. For seniors with reactive airways or chemical sensitivities, each spray is a potential trigger. The device doesn't discriminate. It sprays whether you're in the room or not, whether you're sleeping or awake, whether you're cooking or eating. You're being fumigated in your own home. Do you think it's a coincidence that the cheapest air fresheners cause the most health complaints? Or is there something else going on? Now at number 2, Better Homes and Gardens. Scented wax melts from Walmart. Better Homes and Gardens evokes trust. The name suggests domesticity, quality, and comfort. The magazine has been a household staple for decades. Recipes, decorating tips, garden advice. Walmart's exclusive line of scented wax melts flies off shelves because consumers recognize the brand. The packaging is beautiful, the colors are inviting. The scents have names like Island Escape and Cozy Cashmere. But independent testing by Environmental Working Group researchers found these wax melts score a D or F on air quality safety scales due to undisclosed chemical ingredients. The fragrance compounds used are trade secrets, meaning manufacturers don't have to reveal what you're actually melting into your air. The label lists fragrance oils, but fragrance is a catch-all term that can include hundreds of different chemicals. For seniors on blood pressure medications or anticoagulants, unidentified chemicals can interfere with how drugs are metabolized in the liver. Your liver has to process not only your medications, but also the unknown chemicals you're inhaling from these wax melts. The warm glow of the melter and the cozy scent mask a reality. Your home is being fumigated with compounds even the manufacturer won't name. Better Homes and Gardens built trust on lifestyle appeal, but the lifestyle they're selling includes invisible health risks. One consumer reported developing chronic migraines that disappeared within a week of removing Better Homes and Gardens wax melts from her home. Another documented respiratory distress that required emergency inhaler use whenever the melts were warming. The brand won't disclose ingredients. The testing shows danger. The trust is broken. Coming in at number 1, Glade Solid Gel Air Freshener. The worst offender on our list is also one of the most common. Glade Solid Gel sits quietly in bathrooms, closets, and laundry rooms, slowly releasing fragrance for weeks. You see them everywhere. Gas station restrooms, office bathrooms, hotel rooms. They're ubiquitous. It seems passive, unobtrusive, almost harmless. You don't spray it, you don't light it, you don't plug it in. You just open it and forget about it. But EPA testing reveals these jelly air fresheners emit some of the highest concentrations of VOCs and phthalates of any home fragrance product. The slow, continuous release means you're never getting a break from exposure. Phthalates are especially dangerous for seniors because they disrupt endocrine function, interfere with insulin sensitivity, and increase inflammation throughout the body. Studies link phthalate exposure to increased risk of diabetes complications and worsened arthritis symptoms. For those managing arthritis, diabetes, or autoimmune conditions, phthalate exposure makes symptoms worse. Inflammation increases. Joint pain intensifies. Blood sugar becomes harder to control. The gel's slow release means constant cumulative exposure. You're inhaling these compounds every minute you spend in the room. It's not a burst of fragrance. It's a continuous chemical fog. Consumer complaints include chronic headaches, dizziness, and unexplained fatigue that resolve only when the gel is removed. One woman documented 3 months of unexplained fatigue and brain fog that cleared up within days of removing a Glade solid gel from her bedroom. Glade marketed reliability and subtlety, but what they delivered was a slow-release chemical exposure that compromises your health one day at a time. According to a 2019 study published in Environmental Health Perspectives, air fresheners like these increase the risk of respiratory issues by 34% in households with regular use. For seniors, that percentage climbs higher. The gel lasts for 30 days. That's 30 days of uninterrupted phthalate exposure, 30 days of VOCs saturating the air, 30 days of your endocrine system struggling to filter compounds it was never designed to process. Stick around. The solution is at the very end, and it could change how you choose home products forever. Now that you've seen the worst offenders, you might be wondering if there are any safe options at all. Can you enjoy fragrance in your home without poisoning yourself? The answer is yes, but you have to be extremely selective. The two products I'm about to share have been independently tested, third-party verified, and proven safe for seniors with respiratory conditions, heart disease, and those taking multiple medications. These aren't just less toxic, they're actually safe. No phthalates, no formaldehyde, no glycol ethers, no synthetic musks, no hidden ingredients, just clean, natural fragrance that won't compromise your health. These products cost more than Glade or Febreze, but your health is worth the investment. Let me show you the only two home fragrance products I recommend without reservation. The safe options. The first actual safe option is Mrs. Meyer's Clean Day Soy Candles, made from renewable soy wax with plant-derived essential oils, free from parabens, phthalates, and synthetic dyes. Mrs. Meyer's is transparent. The ingredients are listed on the website and on the packaging, every single one. No trade secrets, no hidden compounds. The soy wax comes from American-grown soybeans. It burns clean with minimal soot. Mrs. Meyer's products pass rigorous third-party safety testing and are transparent about every ingredient. The company publishes full ingredient lists including fragrance components, something almost no other candle brand does. Seniors can enjoy gentle, natural fragrance without compromising lung health or medication effectiveness. The scents are subtle. Lavender, basil, lemon verbena. They smell like actual plants, not synthetic approximations. The flicker is real comfort, not chemical danger. The candles burn evenly. The glass jars are recyclable. For a senior with COPD or asthma, Mrs. Meyer's candles won't trigger respiratory distress. For someone on blood thinners or heart medications, there's no risk of chemical interference. The price is slightly higher than Yankee Candle or Bath & Body Works, but you're paying for safety and transparency. Each candle burns for 35 hours. That's 35 hours of fragrance without formaldehyde, benzene, or phthalates. Your lungs process plant oils easily. Your liver doesn't have to filter industrial solvents. This is what a candle should be: wax, wick, and natural scent. Nothing hidden, nothing toxic. The second recommendation is Pura Smart Home Fragrance Diffuser. Uses medical-grade fragrance vials with no aerosols, no VOCs, and no harmful propellants. Pura's system is different. Instead of heating oils or spraying chemicals, it uses cold air diffusion to disperse fragrance. The device connects to your phone via an app. You control intensity, schedule, and duration. Want light fragrance only in the evening? Set it. Want stronger scent during the day? Adjust it. Pura's system is app-controlled, allowing precise scent intensity and avoiding overexposure. The vials are designed by fragrance houses that supply luxury hotels and spas. Independent lab tests confirm zero phthalates or parabens. Every batch is tested. The results are published. Seniors can customize fragrance safely, knowing the air they breathe won't interact with heart meds, blood thinners, or respiratory conditions. For someone managing multiple medications, Pura eliminates the risk of chemical interference. The diffuser runs silently. No motor noise, no clicking, no buzzing. The fragrance is subtle and natural. You notice it when you walk into the room, but it doesn't overwhelm. One vial lasts up to 120 hours depending on settings. The device itself is sleek, modern, and well-built. It looks like something designed for health, not just convenience. Pura costs more upfront. The device and vials are a real investment, but for seniors prioritizing health and safety, it's worth every dollar. No formaldehyde, no acetaldehyde, no phthalates, no glycol ethers, just clean, controlled fragrance that won't compromise your respiratory or cardiovascular health. These two products represent what the home fragrance industry should be but isn't. They prove that it's possible to create beautiful scents without poisoning consumers. The fact that Mrs. Meyer's and Pura can do this, while companies like Glade, Febreze, and Yankee Candle continue using toxic chemicals, tells you everything you need to know. It's not about capability, it's about choice. The major brands choose profit over safety. They choose proprietary formulas over transparency. They choose cheap synthetic ingredients over natural alternatives. And they're getting away with it because most consumers don't know any better. But you do now. You know the truth. You know what to avoid and what to buy. You have the power to protect your health by making informed choices. Don't let these companies profit from your ignorance anymore. Share this information with your friends and family. Tell your neighbors. Warn other seniors about the products that are poisoning their homes. The more people who know the truth, the more pressure these companies will face to change their formulas or lose market share. Consumer awareness is the only thing that will force change. Regulations are weak. Testing is voluntary. The industry polices itself, which means it doesn't police itself at all. But informed consumers voting with their wallets can create real change. Every time you choose Mrs. Myers over Yankee Candle, you're sending a message. Every time you invest in Pura instead of Glade, you're demanding better. The power is in your hands. Don't let invisible chemicals poison your home while you think you're just freshening the air. The products we just exposed aren't anomalies. They represent a massive failure of consumer protection. These companies prioritize profit over your health, hiding behind trade secret laws that allow them to conceal dangerous ingredients. The fragrance industry operates with almost no oversight. Companies can use hundreds of synthetic chemicals without disclosing them on labels. The word fragrance can hide phthalates, parabens, synthetic musks, and dozens of other compounds. You have no way of knowing what you're actually breathing. But now you know the truth. You know what phthalates do to your endocrine system. You know what formaldehyde does to your heart and lungs. You know what glycol ethers do to your kidneys. And most importantly, you know there are safe alternatives that won't compromise your health or interact with your medications. Knowledge is power, and you now have the power to protect yourself and your loved ones. Subscribe now, and I'll show you which products are actually safe and which ones are silently damaging your health every single day. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and if you're watching on TV, tap your remote to follow us, so you never get blindsided again by products that promise comfort but deliver toxicity.